Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I feel quite demotivated, but I think that's just because I didn't have a good night's sleep. You'd be surprised by how much sleep affects you. Because yesterday I was going to bed and I was so motivated and I was so excited for today. But now that I'm here, I'm not really that happy, to be honest. I think partially the reason for that is because yesterday I promised you guys that I'd start asking people in the street for advice, and yesterday I had opportunities to do that and I just didn't do it. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible with this, and so yeah, and it really hurts when you promise something and you just don't follow through with it. Probably mainly because I like to think of myself as a pretty dependable, reliable guy. And, you can expect a reliable guy to follow through with what he says, but I think doing something like that every day was too big of a leap. I know that it's not like completely unfeasible or anything, but I think as a starting step, maybe it's a bit too big, at least for me. And I'm just thinking back to the very first few videos I did. I remember talking about SMART goals, SMART, which are goals that help you achieve a bigger goal, because they're small steps, they're achievable, and they're within a fixed time frame, and they let you focus on a small step so that it becomes easier to achieve, and then as you build up, the steps become convergent on a goal. That being said, I would like to talk a bit about the future. So I've realized that just doing the same thing every day will not result in growth of my channel by much more than how much it's been so far. And I know I always say it's not all about the numbers, but it's also still a bit about the numbers. And so I would like to progress this community and grow it. I would ideally like to have at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but I don't know how achievable that is. I mean, we got 12 subscribers so far in just a month, which is crazy, by the way. I never expected this, and I know it's a crazy goal to aim for 1,000, but it would really mean a lot. So I'm hoping that the number of subscribers just goes up and up each month by more and more. But I also know that uploading the same sort of stuff every day isn't really gonna do that. I mean, with all the luck in the world, maybe. But I also know that there's stuff that I can do to improve my odds. So, in the summer, I need to lock in. And the reason why I'm not doing it now is because I don't really have time. I mean, like, I have time, okay? But I don't really want to spend a lot of the time in which I could be focusing on my degree. And to be perfectly honest, I do put this above my degree. But at the same time, I can't bring myself to push harder than this. I don't know how to explain it. Obviously, I want this more than a degree, but the degree is still the fallback plan, right? The backup plan. So I still want to do well in my degree. I'll find a way, I promise you. But for now, the idea is to just keep at it the way we've been doing, just adding skills each week, getting slightly better in terms of production value. And then once summer hits, I'm locked in, nothing else to do, just locked in. The other reason why I won't be having as much time is like, okay, yeah, studying for my degree. I probably could still put in a few extra hours instead of scrolling reels, you know, but I'm also trying to get a job, and I think because I want money saved up for the summer, because I need money to help me reinvest back into this hobby, which my all-time goal would be to be a full-time content creator. And also I want to do a bit of traveling, because first and foremost, it's always been a dream for me to travel the world, and I think it would also make some good content, so we'll see how it goes. On a side note, something that was quite motivating this morning, despite my bad sleep. Today we got a comment on the video called "Confidence is Key." The person said, "Keep at it, legend." And I've gotten paragraphs of comments before. I've gotten encouraging comments telling me, you know, what I'm doing is good ideas and stuff. But something about being called a legend is just great. I don't know if it's a common thing to call people in America, but I know in UK and Australia it's pretty common to be called a legend, but it's still such a good I nearly said insult, compliment. If you ever want to make someone's day, call them a legend, because it's so good. It's probably got to be top 5 surely in terms of like one word compliments. Obviously saying a paragraph about how amazing, attractive, cool, smart, strong, athletic, you know, paragraph about that, that's obviously going to be the top tip top. But yeah, legend is definitely up there in terms of one word compliments. So yesterday I went climbing, or I guess bouldering. If you don't understand, watch yesterday's video. Yeah, it was good. I got quite a few good climbs in. Some that I weren't able to do last week, some that I was able to do last week. A mixture of here and there. Not too unhappy with that. I'm going to try and go on Saturday as well. I don't know if I've told you guys about the Mountaineering Society Club at my uni. We get to go on some trips for like significantly cheaper than if it was just a regular family trip or something, or trip with the boys. And so far we've gotten to go to places like the Lake District and Wales and stuff, and it's been really fun. And in March, the first week of the Easter holiday, there's a trip to Fontainebleau, which is a big like outdoor bouldering area in France, and we're going to be driving there. And I told my friend, who's already got his license, he's had it for a year or two. I told him, because it's a 9-hour drive, I told him, oh, if I get my license in February, because my test is in February, if I get my license in February, I'll help you drive half the way. And he was like, yeah, sure, yeah. I offered to pay for the insurance as well. So I think it's a really good idea, because, I mean, obviously I know it's a bad idea to go on like a long road trip the moment you pass your test. As just a general advice to those out there thinking of doing that, you should probably get a bit of practice first, just doing long drives on motorways and stuff, and just practice getting in those hours before you do the road trip, because that's when like most accidents happen. I'm sure you already know. But I think I'm gonna do my test, head home for the weekend. If I pass, and then I'll just like do a few hours each day over the weekend with my dad in his car, and then I'll come back, pay for a few hours of insurance, and do it in my mate's car as well if he lets me, so I can get used to like the clutch and biting point and stuff like that, because it's different for each car. Because I mean, the worst thing that could possibly happen is that we crash on the way to Fontainebleau, and I wreck my mate's car, I embarrass myself, I potentially injure all my mates in the car, and it just goes horribly wrong. We don't get to even go on the trip. That would be awful. So I'm going to do quite a bit of practice between my test and Font. I really hope I pass. I'm so glad, because yesterday we were just talking about it at climbing, and I hadn't even really thought about it. I was just thinking, well, I can't drive. Then, I mean, to be fair, I didn't even say it. I didn't even offer. He was the one that asked if I wanted to. And I was like, hell yeah. So that's given me a big motivation to pass my test, which I'm so happy about, because honestly, I mean, I think I can pass my test, right? It's in just under a month now. I've had quite a bit of practice now. My instructor doesn't think I'm ready, but I think I can lock in, to be honest. But now that I have this extra motivation, any nerves in the exam, gone. I'm just going to be locked in. Now all I have to hope for is a really easy test. So that's what I really had to talk to you guys about today. I'll see you tomorrow.